Welcome to All About the Archers. I'm Philippa. I'm joined today by Quentin and Lauren and the one and only Lucy Speed, who plays Stella.
Yeah.
Lucy, welcome.
Thanks for having me.
It is great to have you. And before we go any further, we've got a bit of a reveal for you. So prepare yourself if you can see this.
Your face.
I don't know.
Oh my God, I want one. I want one.
I knew she would.
I know.
We can send you
Everyone
one, don't
will
worry.
want one. Please do. Oh my God, that's brilliant. That's line. I mean, not spoken by me, but I think, it's only David could come up with that, I guess.
Yeah.
Did you know that was going
Yeah.
to happen? Did you know that phrase lesbian mentor was going to be used?
Yeah, and I pulled it out of the script and said, this is an iconic line. This is brilliant. And I was already like, I need to get a T-shirt made up. And it has been mentioned in the sort of dispatches of the Archers several times since. And our boss mentioned it at the 20,000th episode party.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
So,
that's just
yeah.
fantastic.
Proud to be a lesbian mentor, yeah.
Yeah. As you say, it was
And
iconic.
as it turned out, she was slightly sort of predatory lesbian instead, wasn't she? Because she wasn't being a mentor at all. She was totally...
She knew what she wanted.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, we'll go with it though. It was just, as you say, it was one of those phrases that was amazing. When you started playing Stella, did you have any idea of how magnificent a character she was going to be?
No, because they said, well, we don't really know much. Just kind of like see what happens, sort of thing. So I didn't have any background. I didn't even have a surname. So I was like, I didn't know anything. I didn't know she was a lesbian. I didn't know anything about her. It was just a kind of, which is what they do. They kind of do this organic development with you, sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I just knew that I wanted her to be a capable businesswoman. And the scripts came in like that, and they were right from the off. She obviously knew what she was doing, and I just thought this is quite a male-dominated world, traditionally sort of male. I mean, I live on an old farm that was the farmer sold it because he's one day coming down at 4 a.m. heard his 3 daughters round the Arga going, "Do you want to be a farmer? No. Do you want to be a farmer? No. Do you want to be a farmer? No." So I just thought, well, that's interesting that she wasn't from a farming family and that she then became this career farmer. And I really loved the early scripts. I mean, literally the first 2 years was just her and her work. And I just thought, what a refreshing thing that this is a female character that isn't defined by who she's sleeping with or her emotions or anything. She's just defined by the fact that the guys really respect her in a very male-dominated world for her work. And I sort of gleaned from that you can't be that successful in this industry if you're not a good people person. And that was where I wanted her to be, is that she's good with people. And although she's forthright and direct, she respects everybody when she's talking to them. She talks in a direct fashion to them as if they understand everything. She's been quite good with some of the younger members. So I just think that her key thing is about people management. I mean, there's not really any agenda there. She loves her work so much that she just wants everything to be as efficient and brilliant, and she knows that means happy workers and happy. She's just learnt that keeping other people happy or listening to them or being good at being a manager is a key to success, and I quite like that.
Are you surprised, Lucy? Are you surprised, Lucy, that such a big deal has been made out of what is, I suppose, the first proper lesbian relationship in the Archers? I mean, it is 2023, for goodness sake.
I'm not surprised, actually, because I think that there's so much on TV and film and radio about gay relationships, but there isn't a massive representation of lesbian relationships. I think that we kind of go, okay, if there's a gay relationship, it covers, gay females as well. Whereas actually, I think it's quite an interesting slant, particularly in the Archers, because of the strong female characters that are running farms in a male very male world. And I love the fact that her and Pip have got together because of their joy of farming is where they're allied in their lives and their ambitions. And I can imagine that isn't very easy to be a lesbian farmer, in the sense that it probably is now, but it definitely wouldn't have been in previously, historically. But it makes sense, it kind of makes sense that females are at one with the earth and good. You've had farmers' wives for centuries that are, like the backbone of any farm and work just as hard. And I just think it's I really enjoy the progression and this representation.
So was it more about the joy of farming rather than the joy of sex between Pip and Stella?
I really think so, yeah. And I think that's kind of where Pip's dilemma has landed itself, because she's had straight relationships and she's kind of confused about why she feels like she does. And I think it's a good way to represent gay relationships in saying you don't choose who you love. You can make all the sense you like, you can have all the history you like in one direction, but you can't think your way out of who you love.
And if you've both got a really niche interest in drills to do with farming, then you're just destined for each other.
Love them. Big shiny drills.
Do you feel, Lucy, like you've learned loads about farming since you've been in the park?
About farming. And it's good because I live on an old farm, and I wanted to be a farmer when I was younger. That would be my dream thing, to just be with the animals. And I've got some land around me, and I'm like, I want to buy that land and just put old animals on it and just do, But I was asked by the Radio 4 Farming Today to co-host and judge an award for the Food and Farming Awards, which is quite prestigious farming thing, and it was for progressive farming, which is Stella's thing. And so we looked at all these applications, nearly 100 of them, discussed it with Charlotte Smith, and I were together, who I adore, and we then went and visited the 3 finalists, and we talked to soil experts, dung beetle experts. I've learned so much about soil, and so much of it is what I talk about as Stella, and I was genuinely massively interested and excited about it. And I feel like I could just go and talk to farmers about soil for the rest of my life.
Can we talk about Weaver, poor Weaver? Because I don't know if you're aware of how distraught we all were and how angry we were with Alistair. We felt he didn't deliver appropriate levels of veterinary skills.
Oh, Alistair!
Yes.
No, I don't think it was at all. I think he would have done everything he could for the dog if it was for the sound effect. It was the dog if he could have done.
The feeling was, Lucy, that if Jakob had looked after Weaver, Weaver would still be alive.
Oh, you're a mercenary lot. That's so unfair. I think, if you have to blame anyone, it's the writers and producers that say, right, Weaver's up. I mean, maybe that sound effect of that dog was just really expensive and there just wasn't any room for him. But I remember when I did it, I wanted her to be efficient about it and privately grieve. But when we were doing the scene, when I was just talking to a table, it wasn't a dog.
You had to dig deep.
No, I got really emotional because I remember my dog dying, and I just got really emotional about it. And I think they actually just took the take that wasn't as emotional because I just fell apart, I couldn't speak.
It made me so emotional.
Yeah.
I just lost my cat at the time, so I was really it was raw, and I really felt it. It was lovely. But thank you for the lovely performance. It really helped me a lot.
No, well, I know that some people probably don't want to be reminded of it, but I thought that it is important. I mean, I've had horses all my life and worked on farms and stuff with horses, and animals die, and particularly on farms. And farmers have to deal with that, and they have to disassociate from that sometimes. And I'm not talking about animals that you take to slaughter. I'm talking about beloved animals. And I think it was an important thing to include, that farmers do get upset, that, you know, mistakes can happen, and that we can have emotions about animals, but we all have to carry on. We can't. I mean, I'm a great animal lover, so, you know. But I think working on farms has made me much more. When I was a kid, I just wanted to rescue everything that was on 4 legs or 2 legs or whatever. But it's made me realise about the evolution and an animal's life, and although I'm not saying it wasn't sad, I just think it's really part of a farmer's world. The whole cycle of life is part of a farmer's world, and it was interesting to hear it. And also, on the other hand, I think it was really important that Stella stayed, because lots of people don't stay with their animals when they're put down, and I think it's important that she was there.
Lucy, will the guinea pig survive under George's care?
Guinea pigs. So we used to have some guinea pigs, and my daughter was not interested at all. And I was going out at night in the wind and the rain across the field where the guinea pigs were, because we had some free-range chickens, with a heat pad, because I was worried that they were cold. With a heat pad every night, getting them in there, and all the leftover nice bits of food, and then every day I'd be washing their little furry heat pad cover and doing all this stuff. I thought, what am I doing? I'm just literally a PA to some guinea pigs. They weren't interested in me at all. They didn't want to cuddle. They quite like the chickens and the dog, but they were literally like, oh, God, it's that servant again. They're pulling machines. Who knows what goes on in the mind of a guinea pig? They're just a mystery to me. And I can gel with any animal, but guinea pigs are the ones that just find it.
I suppose I'm more worried about what goes on in the mind of George, as we all are. I mean, he's a nasty piece of work, isn't he?
Well, I don't know. I think Stella's kind of hoping to give him a chance or whatever. I don't know. Hopefully he'll redeem himself. He's only young, isn't he?
Yeah.
I've been really enjoying hearing the relationship between Pip and Stella blossom.
Oh, good.
I feel like I absolutely tapped it from almost the first moment they met. I thought, there's something here. So building that chemistry, love to hear it. But I just want to hear about the kissing. How do you do the kissing? Is it hand kissing?
Yeah, you sort of have to time a kiss the mic and just snog your own hand.
What? Wow.
I did a thing called. I did a radio version of Georgie Girl once, playing Georgie, and we had to do a bed scene on the radio, and there was actually a bed in there. I was like, ooh, are we doing this? They were like, oh, it's just the sound of the covers and all that sort of stuff. But Daisy and I get on great, so it's not awkward at all.
You're so great together. I love hearing it. Was it easy to build the chemistry between the pair of you?
Yeah, and she's lovely. She's so lovely and fun and sweet and kind and just uber laid back. I mean, she's nothing like Pip. She's the least uptight person you'll ever meet. Pip's so uptight.
Yeah. Is she, Lucy, is she aware of the amount of Pip that Pip gives us as listeners? Because she drives most of us nuts.
I don't know. I think we all get criticised by everybody. I think that's kind of part of the game, isn't it? The job description, that people have all got an opinion, and all you can do is just represent your character as honestly as you can. And we all love the show. Those of us that are in it love the show like the fans love it. So, and we're proud of it, and we're very supportive of each other, and we love all our different scenes with different people, and love hearing each other's storylines, and we get it. You get involved in it, and that's just the nature of the game. But Daisy's just nothing like Pip at all. She's just divine.
Yeah. You've had so many scenes with lots of different people, Stella has. Is there anyone that you haven't had scenes with that you really would love to? If you could spend 5 minutes in Ambridge, whose door would you be knocking on?
I love all of them, really. Do you love Brad and Mia?
They're my faves too. I love them. They're so pure and just lovely.
But there's loads of them. I love everybody. And there's loads that I don't cross over with. I never really get much with Helen. And, hopefully over time that will happen. And I think probably when now Stella's more involved in the emotional side of the village, then that will work. I kind of really like the pub scenes because you can just drop into different people you wouldn't normally. And there's really random things that are said.
Talking of scenes, Lucy, I mean, my big hero, my favourite character is the wonderful, I defend him all the time, Brian.
Brian.
And I love your scenes with Brian because you just stand up to him and he doesn't really know what he's handling, and it's just like, whoa, what's going on? So what's it like to work with the great Charles Collingwood?
It's fab, and he was the first person I went in with, and I think he's been so gracious as a character, as an actor, with his character to Stella, because he really has conceded to her, to her greater knowledge, and I think that's a great credit to the character, and Charles knows that in the sense that he's employed her to do a job, and I think that's what I loved about it, is that she was accepted into this male world in a real kind of very respectful way, and she thrives off that. So she kind of has a direct way of talking like a man would, but on a woman that you go, oh, that's really aggressive, but she just is really direct like men do.
Yeah. When you saw on the script that he'd sacked you so in such a brutal way, did your heart sink thinking, God, I'm at the Archers? What did you think when you saw that in the script?
My boss had rung me up to talk about the Food and Farming Awards and would I do it, and then he said, oh, and don't worry, you get reinstated. And I said, what are you talking about? He said, have you read the script for this week? He said, he told me some of the stuff, and I was like, what? I was like, all Adam's fault. I was immediately like that.
Yeah.
And he was like, don't worry, you get reinstated. But I basically got found out for not reading the scripts like weeks ago. I kind of really like to get there and read it and be all surprised and in the moment. If I read it too much into it, I'll do exactly that. Read too much into it.
So when you get the script, you're not sort of like dash in to have a look and find out what's happening. You just want to sort of live it as it's happening.
Sometimes, but I noticed that when I was first there, I was a bit like that, and then I was literally like, I didn't come in for like a few months, and I said to Flick, plays Ruth, did you have that barbecue you invited me to? And she went, I don't know, I wasn't in that episode either. Oh. So she had a barbecue, and they just concentrated on some other people talking at the barbecue. So there is quite often where you just drop off the edge of a storyline cliff and you don't know what's happened, and you have to ask each other. So we quite often catch each other up with what. Yeah. Because if you're not in the episode, you don't get the script.
So you only find out what's happening to you. You are living it then, really, aren't you? You're only knowing what's going on.
It's a nice, spontaneous way to work.
Is the green room the same as other green rooms? Because obviously, you've worked extensively. I'm just interested in the Archers and how it's slightly different.
The green room's always the same. It's always actors sitting around moaning, anecdoting, walking pictures of children, making each other tea, genuinely enjoying. The actors are really great at just sitting around chatting and really enjoy sitting around chatting and telling stories. And always, there's always like a guest actor in that we all sort of interrogate and get all excited about seeing. And also because you're always working with different people, you're always excited to see somebody you might not have seen them for a few months. Or, I've never really have any scenes with Ben, who plays Ben Archer, but quite often in the same episode, so we're always really chuffed to see him, like, what have you been doing? And then we'll go, what happened to that thing that you were doing? And you catch each other up on the last 3 months of your life or whatever. It's really sweet. And we do have a little cider club thing that if you're in studio on certain days, you go out with all the PCs, the production secretaries, and everybody involved in it. They go on a little cider trail sort of pub crawl thing.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Right. Because, you were no stranger to soaps. You were in the EastEnders for quite a few years. How does your experience in a radio soap compare to a TV soap?
Well, EastEnders was only 8 years old when I joined it, and I was 17, and there was 21 million viewers, and it was just a different era. So the radio it's very different being at EastEnders now, I think, as far as recognition is concerned. But that it was insane, and it wasn't something that I'd been acting before I went in it, and it wasn't something I'd really considered part of my thing. I was an anonymous jobbing actor, and so radio really suits me. One, I don't have to get dressed up. It doesn't matter what it looked like. I don't have to learn the lines. It's just the most blissful way to work. And also, people don't really know what you look like, I guess. And I think people are disappointed to see what you look like, because they obviously create images in their mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, any soap is... I quite enjoy the quick turnaround of it. Some people don't, but I do. And I mean, I did rep when I was younger and stuff. I quite like that constant sort of turnaround of stuff and not labouring over anything. But I mean, I enjoy all the different mediums, so it suits me. But yeah, radio's perfect. I wanted to be in radio rep when I was younger, but I could never get on it. It was like the hallowed ground that every actor wanted to be on. But yeah, I feel like I finally made my radio dream job.
Yeah.
There we go. Amazing.
Fantastic.
If you were living it in The Archers, who do you think you'd be pals with in terms of characters?
Ian.
Yeah? Lots of pizza?
Yeah, I'd be pals with Ian. Oh, probably everybody. All the older characters, because I'd just be sitting with them in the pub, because I just love to listen to all the older people's anecdotes. Linda Snell, probably.
Yeah.
I really love her. But I was a massive fan of Carol Boyd before I even went there, so, you know.
Oh, wow.
But, yeah, I guess I'd be just friends with everybody. Stella's friends with her. I think I'd be a lot like Stella. She's just kind of just moving between different groups, but never really rooting down in one in particular place. A bit nomadic.
But not Adam.
Maybe not Adam. I don't know, because I love Andrew, plays him so much, and I really actually enjoyed Stella and Adam's friendship. And I was a bit disappointed when that happened. I hope that they become friends again.
Okay.
But what I tried to play is that Stella just felt let down by somebody she'd let in, and also, you know,
we all felt let down by him.
Yeah. So maybe that hurt. Well, she'll get over that, and it'll be repaired. I don't think he meant to do any harm, really. I think he just was genuinely grieving and was just a bit scared of his dad.
I think you're being too nice, Lucy. He was duplicitous. he behaved appallingly.
I could almost feel the cogs turning as he was sort of saying things. I was thinking, he's thinking this through, and
I know. I think he's a changed character. I think he's on a different pathway to enlightenment.
I think it's very interesting because that scene you performed at Hay, and visually it came across, I think, quite differently to how people heard it just pure as an audio feed. And I felt more for Adam during that scene than I would have, I think, if I'd just listened to it.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'm getting. I'm looking at the actor who looks more contrite than the voice sounds, maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's just, Lucy, it's just wonderful to talk to you. I think we've all got crushes on Stella, and we all want Stella to be around for forever. And for those that haven't been able to watch this on YouTube and just listening, I should say that the T-shirts that we revealed to Lucy have lesbian mentor and attractor on. So, yeah, do have a look on the old socials, see photos of that.
All of Stella's favourite things.
But Lucy, thank you. Though. It's just been a joy to talk to you, and we appreciate you coming on so much. Thank you.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you, Lucy.
Love to meet you.